Welcome to the Queer Confidence Podcast, the podcast to help you become your most confident queer self. I'm your host, he, she, they, Coach Alex Ray, and I haven't always been this confident. In fact, I used to be super insecure. And through this show, I want to share with you what's worked for me, my clients, and my guests so that you can become more confident. Hello, unicorns. Welcome back to part 2 of my conversation with Jacy. Now, part 1 came out yesterday, but again, the two of us can talk forever, and we just kept chatting, as ADHD people do. And so I split this up into 2 parts. So if you haven't yet, you've got to go back and listen to part 1 yesterday. We talked about hypocrisy and being a contradiction, and both how that can sound like a scary thing, but also give you so much freedom and so much confidence. So, amazing, amazing conversation, part 1. Today, I'm giving you part 2, the latter half of the conversation, and we talked about the sales process. We've talked about feeling safe. We talked about her process of hiring me as her coach for her business. We talked about the Iconic Queer Mastermind, which is coming up. Shameless plug, although I did not intend this episode to spend so much time talking about it. But I think you're going to love Jacy's perspective and her story. So welcome to part 2 of the conversation. I'm going to toss you right in. Here we go. Whoosh. I got no fancy sound effects, so that's the sound effect. Ready? One more time. Whoosh. I had a question before about advice and how do you approach receiving advice that's empowering to you?
Ooh, okay, a couple of things just flew through my brain. I think one of them is, and maybe this would be helpful for your listeners to hear the story about how we came to work with each other.
Yeah.
But there, I think the answer was, I was honest. Like I felt uncomfortable and I was honest about that.
Yeah.
And I think that that's something that I can't really help but do.
Wait, tell them the stories so they know what the heck we're talking about.
Yeah, sorry, let me just earmark the other thing, which is I also, whenever I hear somebody say a thought that I think will be helpful for me, I put it in what we call the self-coaching model, and I run it for myself. So I think, how does this thought make me feel? Not make me feel. When I think this thought, how do I feel in my body? And then I decide if I want to keep it for myself, if it's useful for me based on how my body feels when I think it. And that's just individual, right? A coach is going to be giving advice, or anybody is going to be giving advice based on what feels good to them. Mm-hmm. Even if what feels good is well, this should work for me, so I'm going to repeat it. Even if that's the motivation. But that doesn't mean that it's going to resonate for you. And so taking responsibility for taking, not just responsibility, it's really owning the authority that you have over your body and over your mind, and deciding for yourself what works for you right now.
Yeah.
What feels right, what feels activating in fun ways, what feels activating in unfun ways, what feels like a slog, and then deciding for yourself what you're up for that day. Totally.
Yeah. Because sometimes I'm I want to be a total pain slut. Give me all of the difficulty. I'm ready to transform. Yes! And then other times I'm if this doesn't just relax my entire asshole, then I don't want it.
Totally.
Do not give me any challenge here. I want it to just feel wonderful.
Yeah, and easy, and the universe is just flowing. Totally.
Okay, so tell them the story.
Okay, so you may have to jump in some.
Okay. We'll collaborate.
Sounds like fun. Yeah, okay. So I found Alex on Instagram when I think I had like, I don't know when I first started following you. That's like hard to remember for anybody, but I was intrigued by your iconic queer mastermind. I think at first I was like, oh, okay, another person with another mastermind, like meh. And then I saw you in your bondage gear and you said something like, I'm your coaching dominatrix or your business
Yeah,
dominatrix.
business dominatrix.
Like, coaching is BDSM. And I was like, mind blown emoji. Like, my brain was in the wall corner. My head exploded. I was like, oh my gosh, yes, this is what it is. It's a power exchange. It's a consensual power exchange.
Totally.
For play.
Yes.
And for fun.
Yes.
And like, of course, like there are non-playful things that can come out of that. There's like work that benefits from it, like whatever. I don't know, but I really feel like play is like where it's at. So
yeah,
I slid into your DMs, I think, and I was just like, oh my gosh, this is so right. Anyway, and so I signed up for a call and I had just come out of a certification that was very expensive for me. It was $10,000. I was actually still in that certification when I saw your when we met. But I think the other thing is like, and I think I might be kind of unique, but I don't turn down free coaching. Like I'll sign up for all the calls and I'm like, you can have your opportunity to pitch at me in exchange for me getting fucking coaching. Hell yeah. Like that's just like such a good deal to me. Yeah. And I've been coached by some like really, really awesome people that way. Like I had like a 30-minute call with Judith Gatan, who just like gave me a bunch of we talked about whatever. She gave me some awesome coaching and also some awesome recommendations for shops that I should look at. She's a style coach, super great.
Love.
Yeah, anyway, sorry, what was the point? Oh yeah,
just so like you love, yeah, you signed up for our call.
But I had been coming from this, like, I had made a ton of investment. And that advanced certification wasn't the only investment, like large financial investment that I had made in coaching. It was like the third or fourth. It was like the fourth. Mm-hmm. And so I was like, my business wasn't quite where I wanted it to be there. I felt like I was failing at all of the exercises that they were giving. It didn't feel like me. And I thought that I thought the iconic queer mastermind could be, but I was also really hesitant to make another investment. Mm-hmm. And I'm gonna need you to pick up here and then I'll jump back in.
Okay. So we had our first call and I think we talked 3 times, wasn't it? 3 different calls?
Okay. 3 times.
Yeah.
Alex like gave me at no cost. Like it was some of them were longer than an hour.
Yeah, totally.
It was like 5 hours of coaching.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, because I think the first time we talked, it was at least an hour and a half.
The second time I had to run after an hour.
Yeah.
And the third time was longer.
Okay. And I remember like you just kind of, was it the first call where you went, I just feel a lot of anxiety right now? I think it might have been the first one.
I think it was the first call.
Okay.
Yeah. Because I was like, I want Alex to like me. And like, I'm like feeling hesitant about making the financial investment. I think at that point I had forgotten that you had the money back guarantee, which I think created a lot of safety for me for making the decision. but especially after previous experiences.
Yeah.
And your money back guarantee was like bonkers. You were like, you're going to make double your investment or I'll give you your money back.
Right.
I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
But I think I had forgotten that coming into the first meeting. And so I was just like, oh, $5,000 is a lot.
Yeah.
But I want you to like me. Because you're so cool.
Oh my God, I love it. Yeah. Okay, wait. So then the thing that happened was you voiced that. You're like, I feel anxious, right? And then
I think because you asked me.
I asked you how you were feeling.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Probably because I noticed something in your body language. I was like, what's going on here? And then I remember the moment. I had never really like done this exactly on a no, I don't think I'd ever done this on a call. Yeah, I definitely hadn't. I said to you, okay, let's just be honest. I'm a business owner. Obviously, I want you to spend money. Obviously, I want you to pay me. Obviously, I want to work with you, like from a business standpoint so that I can benefit.
Mm-hmm.
And I also, like, from a human side, I genuinely, like, would love to work with you. I think we'd have a lot of fun and that we'd enjoy the work together.
Which
but
was
also,
so true.
Yeah, totally true. And also, my job is to be a coach. And so I was like, how about this? How about for the rest of our time on this call, I'm going to do my best to just be out of like the sales mode, the business owner mode, and fully in the coach mode. Mm-hmm. And just help like you explore your decision. How do you feel about that? And you were like, yes, okay. Sign me up.
I was like, free coaching? Hell yeah. Always. I'll always take it. Yeah. And it was so good. I think I was really blown away because that was like the best business coaching that I had ever received came from you during that time. But I think it was only possible because I wasn't in my head thinking, Alex is trying to sell me something. Oh my gosh, I want him to like me. Fuck, what if I don't do this? Will he ever talk to me again?
Yeah.
If I don't do this, is my business going to suffer? Like, what are all of the things that I'm like, what's all the FOMO that I might experience? Which I think is a huge part of contemporary marketing tactics, is to heighten our fears, to activate our nervous system, and then to offer the product as a solution to that. Yes. And you were like,
sales through insecurity.
Right, exactly. It reminds me, I think that during those first calls, we actually talked about marketing and sales and about the experience that you had in the store of like being pushed over and then being sold this like bracelet, that
the balance bracelet with a holographic sticker on it that like gave you more balance. I also don't know why at like 17, 18, why I thought I needed more balance. Like
I don't know, you were like a CrossFit like god or whatever. I don't know.
Not at that point. That was like a couple years before. Like, what am I having trouble balancing? I was not even doing anything that required balance other than walking. But
I think that's like balance is also one of those words that's like so moralized.
Yeah.
Today too, it's like we want work-life balance. We want I don't know what other kinds of balance, because I just like give up on those.
Yeah, but yes, but yeah, I forgot about that story where basically like it was one of those kind of carnival game almost things where, yeah, he legit like pushed me over to prove that I was unbalanced, and then pushed me in a different way that made me not fall over. So like it was all manipulation in order to sell this thing that actually didn't do anything. It was a rubber bracelet with a sticker on it. That was it.
Right. And I think
and
that
mind games.
right. And I think that that's like a lot of how I was taught to market coaching too, is
Totally.
the like, you can sell someone a bottle of water for $1 million if they're super thirsty in the desert. But that implies that like you need to convince them that they're literally going to die without your coaching. It's like, I don't want to be responsible for somebody's life. Like, I'm not an EMT.
Yes, also doesn't it feel so yucky to be like, you look like you're about to die. For $1 million, you can have, instead of like, you look like you're about to die, I have a bottle of water that I don't need, you can just have it.
Right. Right. Like, let's just like airlift some bottles of water instead of like, sending random white dudes to the moon. Like, I don't.
Yeah, totally not an appropriate sales metaphor at all. I mean, unless you're an ultra bully capitalist or something. I don't know. That just seems like it has no humanity left.
Right? Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it feels really icky. And like, yeah, that's maybe like another story, is that like I think that that's one of the biggest areas of growth for me in working with you, has been like, okay, what if this is fun?
Yeah. It can totally be fun.
It's just fun.
Yeah. Business can be. And also it can be not fun. Another contradiction for you. Like, it really can be
for
a
sure.
total chore. And there are certain things.
It can also be fun in the ways that it's not fun, right?
Yeah.
Like, sometimes it's scary to do stuff and it doesn't feel fun.
Yeah.
But it's like one of those days when you wake up and you're like, I can handle the pain. Like, bring on the pain.
Yeah. It's consensual because you're purposely there.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Consensual, unfun can be fun.
Yes, totally. Oh my God. Okay, let's conclude the story like how of us meeting. What else happened that was significant? Anything?
I think the other thing is that you were super generous with your time. I understand that like this isn't something that I think that this is something that we can easily use against ourselves. So I think like if it doesn't feel good to you, don't take this as advice of what you should be doing. Also true of literally everything anyone says ever.
Right. My entire podcast.
Yes.
Which you have told me several times you disagreed with little things, and I was like, cool,
yeah.
I appreciate
totally
that.
Disagree with lots. I think that you've told me after I like explained my matrix issue, you were even like, oh yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I totally disagree with myself. And then I was like, but I had a few months to think about it, and now I kind of think like this. And you were like, oh yeah, I was right. It was like,
again, like you pointed out, different time, different space, different context. Yes.
Yeah.
Totally. Oh my God. Yeah.
Okay. Anyway, so I think the other thing, right, is that you were super generous with your time. So you were like, why don't you take some time and think about it? Which I wasn't expecting that space to be able to leave and then develop my thoughts and then come back. But you gave me that space, and that was really helpful. And I think that this is also, it's not just that it was helpful for you to do for me from a marketing perspective. It's also something that I've learned through the Iconic Queer Mastermind to do for myself. Is like, if I'm feeling like, I don't know, this isn't an infinite deferral technique, I feel like, or tactic. I feel like I should like flag up front, but like giving myself some space, it's like I can kind of feel, it's like if I'm not ready to make a decision about something, it's okay. Yes. I can wait until I'm ready to, either the decision feels like it has been made, it becomes easy, or thirdly, I'm ready to handle the discomfort that's going to come from making that decision.
Yeah.
Okay, anyway, right. So, and then we met up again and
You hadn't decided.
I hadn't decided.
Yeah. And we
And so you
just
coached me
literally
again.
talked for a whole hour about all of
It's
your
so good.
different thoughts on it. And I was like, cool. How are you feeling now? Still don't have an answer. Great. Okay. When do you want to talk
Yeah.
again?
And then we talked again. And in that call, I was sure I was going to not join the Iconic Queer Mastermind. That's
Which
the
I didn't
decision
even know
I
until
had made.
later. Yeah.
Yeah. That's the decision that I had made coming into the call. Just because I was coming into the final stretch of the program that I was in. And I was kind of like, I kind of want to just like let that bake a little bit before I start like adding in some more ideas.
Yeah.
Which I think would have been a fine decision.
Yeah.
But I'm also like really glad that I have the Iconic Queer Mastermind community.
Oh yeah.
It's just, and all the lesson, right. I'm really glad that I made the decision that I did. But that's one of those contradictions, right? It's like, it would have been fine. Also, the decision that I made was awesome.
Yeah.
And what was the turning point for me? I'm not even sure. I think that like your like genuine acceptance of the choice of like my choice going either way, I was like, this is somebody who's going to have my back. Like, this is somebody who I want on my team because they're going to support, and who I want to be in conversation with about business because like you are going to support me no matter what, which is what I want to do for my clients. It's also, I think, what's awesome about the Iconic Queer Mastermind is that you build your business in a way that is yours, which is so different from like any other business program that I've heard of, much less participated in. It's like, and that's, I feel like what you already show. I mean, that's what you showed, and that's what drew me, I think, at the end.
Yeah.
But it was also like past the deadline when you met with me again. I felt like,
again, I can contradict myself, right?
Yeah, totally. I felt like you would meet with me if I needed it.
Yeah.
More like it. I think there was something about like your generosity. And also like, that's what I wanted to be as a coach too. And I felt like at the time, like that wasn't how you do profitable coaching.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so it was cool because it was like, I got to prove, like I took the first step in proving the other truth, right? Which is that like you can be profitable as a life coach and be super generous with your time.
Oh my God, yeah. And the way you run your business is so amazing and so unique and so you.
I love it. I love all my clients so much.
It's like, and it's literally so, I don't know that the way that you run your business aligns with any popular advice. And I love that.
No, yeah. I think, yeah, it's interesting. It's weird. I think like all of the clients that I've gotten since joining the mastermind have like asked to pay me, which is totally against all of sales advice, right? Yeah. All of sales advice is like, you need to tell people how to pay. Well, I do tell them how to pay me. That's how I get paid. But like, it's all, like you need to be taking the first step. Like you need to be like whipping out your dick and like shoving it down people's throats. And it's like, but that doesn't feel good to me. I don't like it. So I just kind of like,
so true.
I don't know. I just like talk about philosophy in the DMs. And then when people want to pay me for life coaching, I say yes.
Oh my God, exactly.
Listening, if you want to hop in my DMs and we can see if we're a good fit, please feel free.
There you go. Oh my God. I also I totally did not intend for this podcast to become like a giant advertisement for the iconic queer mastermind, right? But come on in, the water's warm. It's a lot of fun. It's very different. It's not, if you are any kind of business owner and you have been wanting some support but nothing has really aligned, check it out. Like Jacy said, like, come have a conversation with me. It is very, very different than what's popularized, at least right now, as far as how to build a business or how to market. I really value a lot of autonomy, self-empowerment, self-trust, confidence. Obviously, that's this podcast. Hello.
And at the same time, when you're getting in the way of your own wisdom by trying to perform an authoritative voice, this was also something that you did that was super helpful for me. At one point you were like, let me be the dom in this conversation. Like, just let whatever is going to come out of your mouth happen. Trust me to create the meaning with you afterwards.
Yeah.
And so there's that too. We
do have power play. It's right? Fun.
But like, that's how you develop your authority and confidence in your authority, is by playing with power in that way.
Totally. It really is. It really is. I'm working on this right now in a relationship, like sexually, just giving away. Like, okay, here I am, like bound, blindfolded, like just go to town, do whatever, right? Like, and here you take 100% control. I'm gonna have no control, and like, bet you can't make me come. Right?
Oh my gosh, because we're both like the brattiest subs.
Yes.
Like, bet you can't.
Bet you can't. And then secretly I'm like, do it.
Right? Well, because that's part of what is fun about it, is it's like, I bet you can't.
Right.
I don't know. It's like, it's something that's appealing about the like traditional bodice ripper. I'm not saying like that was great literature, or that is like,
you're not endorsing it.
Scent is important. We'll just like say that very explicitly.
Okay.
But I think what's fun about the traditional bodice ripper, which is this like genre of romance novel where it's like the woman has to perform not wanting it, but ultimately, but like secretly kind of does, and then the man is this like super alpha male and like rips her bodice open, and like that's where the term comes from. It's this kind of like traditional romance genre, and like, consent's important. Let's be super clear. Also, yes. I think that's what's fun about that, is like, in a society where people feel like they have to perform a certain way, but secretly they want to do it.
Right. Again, a contradiction.
No, totally. Yeah.
Yeah. Absolutely. And I think the thing that's important there is just that consent, right? And being able to say like, okay, let's establish like some safe words. Let's establish like some no-go zones. And that way there's a purposeful invitation to speak up for yourself when you're not enjoying something, or something feels like too triggering, where you're like, because triggering can be fun, and it can also be like, oh hell no, I'm not ready for this, not
It can
today.
also be traumatizing, right? Because like if you
Right.
imagine being tied up and blindfolded and then sexually stimulated in a non-consensual way, it's like, yeah, that's traumatized. That's not okay.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, great point. Great point. Oh my god. This is like such a fun conversation. I like, as always, want to just talk with you for hours and hours because there's like no end, infinite space, right?
Yeah, I feel like that's something that the ADHD brain does well too, is it's like, let's just keep going. Like let's
Exactly.
like open up that like infiniteness and expand it outwards. But
100%.
yeah,
Um but let's conclude here on just this wonderful little sex talk cap at the end.
awesome.
Um and please let the unicorns know where they can find you, where they can follow you, and how they can explore working with you.
Oh my gosh, unicorns. Yes. Okay. So you can find me at Jacy Tackett Coaching on Instagram. Um, I guess you can find me also on Facebook. I'm Jacy Tackett. That's JacyTackett.
And we'll put all the links in the show notes so
Coaching.
y'all don't have to like scramble to write that down right now.
That's a good point. But it is a podcast, so if you want to rewind, you can,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
or you can click the link. Okay. So that was Instagram. I also have a Planstagram if you like pretty pictures, which is plans underscore and underscore JC. I also have a TikTok that's plans and JC that has some planner content, also some coaching. So I show there like how I use um, coaching techniques in my planner. So yeah, you can follow me there. I also, what else? Okay, if you want to schedule a call with me, you can check out my Calendly, which is calendly.com/JC Tackett Coaching. Or you can send me an email at jctackettcoaching@gmail.com. I think that's all the bases. I also have like a website, but it's not that great right now. But if you're teleporting from the future, then maybe check out the website.
Perfect. Love it. Again, y'all, I'll make sure all those links are in the show notes so you can just easily tap on those to go and just hang out in JC's universe and work with her.
Yeah, and I can also tell you some about my coaching packages if you want.
Well, yeah, give us a little teaser taste of like what it is that someone can expect working with you.
Ooh. Okay. So that's a good question. And my mind just went blank. Okay. One of the things that I value is creating is like consent in our relationship. And so I like to offer a first date style on me call at the beginning, which is usually an hour long, except I don't know, sometimes we go longer. Like coaching call where I just coach you. There's no like pitch, there's no whatever. I coach you and then we see kind of so that we can both explore like what that relationship might look like. Then I also have different sized packages. Sorry, I just thought about penises. Years old. Different sized packages based on what you feel comfortable signing up for. So I have a post-paid session by session option, which is $133 a session. I have a prepaid three coaching session, which is $333. And then I have a 12 session if you want to do 3 months together, and pay up front, which is the lowest price per session at $11.88, which is $99 a session. And what you can expect from me when we're working together is, so we have the traditional stuff. We work together for an hour, usually every week, or every other week. It really depends on like what's going to work for like best for you. I think with a lot of my clients, I start every week. And then as they develop, like as they learn the self-coaching model and start coaching themselves, we move to like an every other week. Yeah. And okay, so we have that. We meet for like an hour-ish, like often longer, whatever. As long as it's consensual that we go longer, we can.
Right.
Call every week or every other week. And then also, so what I really love is just like, I'm weird, my brain's weird. And so I also just like offer whatever else we want to do together. So you can send me messages. I respond in 48 hours usually, or sorry, I always respond within 48 hours, but often I will find myself online at the same time, even if it's like 4 a.m. my time. And we just like do quick, my best coaching really like happens at 4 a.m. in the DMs. Like we just
it does
like chat, and it's super focused because we're both like going to sleep. And yeah, and so I think that that's something that's unique for me, is that like I think of it as like, all right, you're hiring me, we're on a team together. Whatever just like occurs to me to send to you, I'll send to you. Sometimes I like to send like all my clients like little Monday motivation pep talks. Sometimes, yeah, I don't know, like sometimes stuff just occurs to me, but I also try to be, as long as it's consensual, again, and like with myself too, I like to just like show up for you in however I can during the period that we're working together. So that's what it's like. It's fun.
It's very above and beyond, and I think it's much the opposite of what we've been kind of taught, which is like suck the most profit out of the least amount of work or effort or least amount of like help. I don't know.
Totally.
Like anyway, that's in the coaching world. A lot of everyone listening isn't even a coach anyway, so y'all don't need to hear about our own internal problems that we love to discuss within this community.
I think that that's also true of a lot of other kind of services too, is like, it's kind of like, how can you charge the most? Like, how can you extract the most profit from the person that you're working with? Mm-hmm. And that's just like not how I like to live my life. I'm like, my brain is thinking about you anyway. Like, why would I deny you whatever the universe is like teleporting to me at this time?
Yeah.
Like, where I'm thinking of you, like and that kind of makes me think of you, like, which isn't to say that it's always super useful, right? But like, sometimes it is. So
yeah.
And like, why would I deny that to you just so that like I can offer it later for more money?
Yeah.
I mean, so you're welcome to tip me. Some of my clients do. But also like, I'm on your team. I'm here for you.
I love it. Okay, y'all, if you're just so in love with Jacy, you please like go book this free coaching call with her. Like really work with her. Although I feel like after this conversation, everyone's like, yeah, actually I'm just ready now. Like, let me hang out with you.
Also, if you like speak philosophy language, I am definitely the coach for you.
Oh, totally. Or planning, or a creative weirdo.
Like, you're a creative weirdo. If you like to dip your unicorn hooves into paint and press them against the world, then come hang out with me.
100%. All right. I think that's all we have for them today, huh?
I feel like my brain is fully melted.
Yeah. Same.
I love you, unicorns, though.
All right, everyone. I will see you on the next episode. Bye. Bye. If you enjoyed this episode, don't keep it to yourself. Share it with a friend so they too can become more confident. You can also help more people find the show by leaving a 5-star review wherever you listen. And if you want to become a more confident queer with support from yours truly, head to coachalexray.com or use the link down in the show notes. I'm looking forward to working with you.